Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us. We'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking, the podcast. I'm here with Johnny and Laura, and I'm Carlos. And happy Halloween. Halloween weekend is Tuesday. Do any of you go to Halloween parties? What was the last Halloween party you went to? Do you guys, because you have kids now, you just don't do that? Or
I don't go on Halloween night, but we have like a family Christmas party that my cousins throw
this is
the
Halloween,
Saturday
though. It's not
before.
Christmas.
You said Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Did I seriously say Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, they also have a Christmas party. Sorry, they have a Halloween party every year. Whoa. It's the Saturday before Halloween. So we will go to that with the kiddos. And I will send my husband home at 9 or 10 p.m. with the children, and I will stay and get drunk. And then
Johnny,
Halloween night, we trick or treat, and some friends come over with their kids, and they go around. And I love Halloween.
What kind of drunk are you?
Right now, or
Happy means
period.
sleepy. Yeah.
happy?
Yeah, or does it depend on your drink? Have you ever
No.
like okay.
No. And fuck people who say that. I'm sorry if that's anybody. I'm like, oh, tequila makes me mean. No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It is
yeah,
all
It's
the
a
fucking
100%
same.
true. It's 100% true.
No, it's a fucking lie. 'Cause
No, every time I've
alcohol-
been drunk, no matter what it is, I'm a happy drunk. No matter what, until I start throwing up, then
Same.
I'm just miserable.
Yeah.
But then before that, I'm a
Ditto.
happy drunk. Give me whatever it is. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Johnny apparently
happy.
gets
I
mean on
hug
tequila.
everybody.
No,
Yeah,
gin.
when are you
gin.
mean?
Gin. Well, so what happened is like the few times I've either gotten into a fight or almost gotten into a fight, whatever they had to. Gin was the culprit or the common denominator.
Or let's dig a little deeper. Is it that
Yes.
you drank so much that night, you were drinking whatever was around? Like, you know what I mean? So you were drunker than normal, drinking things that you wouldn't normally drink. Thus, you reach a tipping point of, I'm happy,
Aggression.
I want to fight fucking somebody.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to that, right? Because with the gin, you have to have it with juice because I heard it in a song, and that's how you have to drink it. Apparently.
Or LaCroix, which is how I drink it.
Oh, I guess you could do that too, but
Gin
I'm
and
not. I'm not
LaCroix.
willing to take that chance anymore. But
Mm.
so you know, if I'm drinking gin and juice, maybe I don't know my normal limits. Like if I have 3 beers in my system, I could see the 3 bottles there. I'm like, oh, I feel good, you know, like
And
I'm.
you know the alcohol content in every single one of those beers, so you can like track your leveling, like not in like a, you know, really scientific way, but I mean, like, you know how one beer affects you. One cocktail can be nothing. If you're at a wedding, you're like, did I just drink something? I have no idea. Or if you're paying like, you know, $20 at a cocktail bar, one cocktail will fucking knock you on your ass. It's very variable, which is why cocktails are dangerous.
Or gin makes me fight.
So there's something about the juniper berry that makes you
Okay.
angry. Something about Christmas trees that just make you want to just lash out.
Is that where it comes from?
The juniper berry, yeah.
And that's from Christmas trees.
It's got a vaguely like Christmassy, like pine taste, depending on the alcohol, but usually gin is kind of like pine needles. I like it. I'm
Oh,
drinking it right now.
Really? You want to fight?
Nope.
All right.
I want to hug. Tell everyone how much I love them.
All right. I don't know. I'm not willing to risk it, and over the years I've found things that I like to drink. So I feel like I'm
Stick with
a
those.
pretty happy drunk. I think I'm witty, but not everyone might think that. What kind of drunk are you, Carlos?
I'm a happy drunk. I'm the kind of drunk where if I'm telling jokes or somebody tells me a joke, even if it's the stupidest joke, I will laugh till I piss myself. That's how much I laugh. Just how drunk I
Literally,
am.
you'll piss yourself.
No, I haven't yet, but I'm just saying. I'm just yeah.
You know
Until
what
it
I
gets
like?
to the vomit level, then forget it. Leave me alone.
I like it when
Yeah.
Carlos drinks and then like he's either like say proven wrong or you catch him like stuttering or something like that, and then you point it out. Like let's say he I don't know, says there were four matrices or eight matrices and there was only four or something like that. And you point him out. Did I say matrix? I meant to say. And then he's just so much funnier after that because he's like, I'm an idiot and I fucking love it and I'm laughing at myself and it's entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
I wish that we all lived closer because I would love to get fucking wasted with you guys. So I need to come to Northern California, which probably makes a little bit more sense, seeing as there's two of you in that area, or you need to come to St. Louis and have some barbecue.
No,
I've
St.
got one
Louis is
creepy little bedroom down here. You guys can share it.
or we
Oh,
not
you got a
get
hotel
murdered.
room.
Yeah. I'd rather get murdered in a regular hotel room than in your creepy basement, Laura. No offense.
With the shag walls.
Yeah, the shag carpet and wood paneling walls.
Fucking
Now, that's not the recipe for an 80s slasher film.
I don't know what is.
100%. She's like,
Sorry.
Speaking of Halloween, we each saw an original 80s slasher film. Original trio, Mike Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. Laura, why don't you start? You watched Halloween Part 1, the original. Go ahead and tell us about it and your rating.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like I have seen parts of this movie, the original Halloween, but I don't know that I've ever like sat down and watched it. And this time I watched it. It's very much so a sign of the times. You know what I mean? This is the first time I've seen it in its entirety, and I think I'm too old to be scared by literally the boogeyman. He makes no sense. Why did he kill his sister at 6 years old? Why does he target Jamie Lee Curtis? Why can't he die? It's fucking dumb. The whole thing makes no fucking sense. So if I saw this when I was 8, oh my God, it would have scared the fucking pants off me. But I'm not. I'm 39 years old. And it is I mean, is it late 70s or early 80s? I think it's early 80s.
Came out in 78.
78. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, late 70s. It's really fucking slow. It's really dumb. It's not scary. I saw more boobs than I saw dead people.
so
One right
there
at the
happens to
beginning.
be a website called Celebrity Movie Archive, and you
Okay.
type in a movie and it'll tell you who's in it that shows any boob action.
Oh, Celebrity Booby Archive
It's
is really what it
Celebrity
should be called.
Movie Archive, but yeah,
Yep.
it should be
Booby
Archive.
Archive.
So it documents 2 actresses, and then
Thank you,
one with
Johnny.
a butt shot. She's like taking off her clothes.
So I saw 4 titties and I saw 3 bodies. That ratio is off.
It's a pretty accurate website that I go to. So
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Johnny's got the scoop.
But it does keep up with the 80s slasher film, right? You need sex, you need alcohol or drugs, and you need boobs, right?
Definitely.
But I mean,
And
since Michael Myers, he doesn't talk. So like one of the common things during that era was just like one-liners. It was in all the movies, action movies, horror movies. So do you get any the one-liners or the catchy nothing?
No,
No.
this movie was super stupid.
yeah.
It makes no sense. Like Laura said, you don't know why he kills his sister. And when his parents come home, did you see the reaction of the parents? I thought it was funny as shit. Michael, as a 6-year-old boy, is standing outside with a bloody knife in his hand, and his mom just puts her hands in her pockets, and the look on her face is like, again, Michael, just so goofy. And then the dad is like looking at him like, what did you
Shucks.
do? Yeah, but nobody runs into the house to see what he just done. But you're right. Michael he's basically an angry old man because Jamie Lee Curtis and the little boy go up to the house and she's just putting keys under the mat. Michael just happens to be inside at the time and sees them come to the porch and the little boy standing on the sidewalk. For some reason, Michael learns how to drive because he carjacks a nurse when all the crazies are like wandering the yard. I'm like, what are these people doing outside? It made no
there
sense.
was no like. I thought there was going to be a break, like a prison break scene or something.
Right, and
No,
a reason for it, right? No,
yeah,
nothing.
no.
And on the way up there, I thought they were going to a costume party because she was dressed the way she was dressed as a nurse. But I guess in the early
They
60s or
did.
whatever.
They really did wear those stupid fucking outfits.
Oh, it looked so. I thought, yeah. So I thought they were going to a Halloween costume party, but it wasn't. She was just a nurse. And then she gets carjacked by Mike. Somehow he learns how to drive.
And the fucking green station wagon. Is there anything less scary or creepy than a green station wagon?
Did it have the wood paneling on the side?
No, it did not have paneling, but it might as well have.
So then Mike see these two. Oh, and then Mike goes driving past Jamie Lee Curtis on the way home from school, and her friend, was it Annie? Yeah, Annie, because he's driving really fast. So she says, "Speed kills," and he slams on the brakes. Like, what'd you say, bitch? And he just sits in the middle of the street for a while. Then he takes off. She becomes the first target because she made a joke at his expense, I guess. So he starts targeting her, which makes no sense. And then he's targeting Jamie Lee Curtis because she came up onto his porch. Almost like the old guy's like, get off my lawn. Right? So now he's going to kill her. I got to kill you because you're on my lawn. And then he starts trailing the little boy after he got bullied for no apparent reason. John Carpenter is a shitty writer because none of this stuff made any sense.
Yeah.
Because he's getting bullied for no reason. They keep talking about a boogeyman. And like what's funny is that the kid's walking home alone. It's after school. Where are all the other kids? There's like nobody around. And this entire time I thought Jamie Lee Curtis's character was actually Mike's sister. But no, she just happened to be the realtor's daughter. They're trying to sell the house, and she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he follows her or chases her for like 6 movies. It's dumb.
So I was reading about that because I was like, what is going on here? Like, what is the lore? And in the second one, they say that Jamie Lee is his younger sister. But then they the franchise is so crazy that they retrocon that 1,000 times. So nobody knows what really is. But in the second one, apparently they do say that she is his sister. It's the whole, like you said, it's shit writing. It's not good. And John Carpenter, he was so proud of himself, clearly, because in the credits, he's like, music by John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking theme music is so goddamn annoying. It's not spooky. It grates on my nerves like you would not believe. And the sound of Mike Myers breathing in that dumb mask at the end, it's not scary.
I guess John thought if you were to look over Mike's shoulder every time he creeps out, that's supposed to be scary. It's like, I don't know how many times I saw his fucking shoulder. Like, dude, that's not scary. But I'm thinking, well, maybe if I was in my teens and I watched this,
and it was the 70s, you've never seen it before. Yeah.
Right. But it's so, like you said, it's so slow. And it's so, like, even the doctor who's hanging out at Mike's house, just waiting for him to show up. I'm like, come on, dude. Here's the thing about what I've noticed when I watched all 3 of these originals. No slashing is shown. You don't actually see anybody get stabbed or cut or anything like that. I wonder if that's maybe like a rated R code thing and maybe they switched it up, but nobody ever gets
I think
slashed.
It's sign of the times. You just don't see it.
Titties are okay, but not the slashing part.
They were. The titties were pretty nice. I mean,
the first set of titties were good. They're firm. They're nice and firm.
I miss real ones, man. I don't need that fake shit. Give me some real titties.
So the kid slashes someone, but you don't see it. It's so goofy the way they portray it. Then the adult Mike strangles somebody in the car.
Not scary.
No. And then he strangles the dude and then stabs him. But you don't see the stabbing. You just see him hanging from the cabinet. He's just hanging there. And then he strangles another girl with a phone cord. And then he
Lots
goes
of titties on that one.
Yes. And I hate this crap in these movies though. He finds all her friends, but instead of running the hell out of the house, let me push myself into the back into a corner where I can't go
Into a
anywhere and
closet.
just sob or scream or whatever. And then she stands up. Mike comes from behind her and takes a swing at her with a knife and hits her shirt. He didn't
Yeah,
kill her.
misses entirely. I mean, to be fair though, that mask really has to limit your peripheral vision, right? I mean, we've all been in Halloween mask at least once in our life. It's very difficult to see. And so it's very impractical, truly, to be a murderer with just a single knife and then, have to be stabbing people who are running away when you can't see half the goddamn field of vision.
He seemed to do well in the beginning. The mask was worse in the beginning. He killed his
True.
sister.
True.
But anyway, overall, the movies, I would give it a 2 out of 5. Because
I would agree with that.
You would do the same?
Jamie's friends, Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't remember her character's name. They're fucking bitches. But actually, we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we talk about this next movie. But yes, 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
No, 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, right. And John Carpenter only did the first one. He didn't do any of the other ones. Apparently, there was 8 total in the original series. And then there is the reboots. So there's 13 total. There's 5 after the reboot. And then, so 13 total Halloween movies. But yeah, so that's Halloween Part 1. Johnny, you saw Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, is that right?
Yeah, that's number 3, I believe, in the series. Yep. And it was what I remembered. I mean, the first time watching it, I was pretty scared. I mean, the premise.
And how old were you when you first saw it?
God, 8, 9, maybe.
I saw this one in the theater.
Did you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, we bought tickets to another movie and snuck in. It's R-rated. So
I was going to say, they let you in?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was 87. I would have been 10. But I don't think I saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure I saw it after, we rented the movie. And
These would have scared me at 10 years old.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it was a combination of things. Like, so there's boobies in it? All right. Well, I'm in. I'm a young man discovering his body. And I was like, I really like those things. And nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. So the premise is he molests and kills some people in this small neighborhood. The family gets together and like murders him, burns him alive, and then he comes back to haunt them and kill them in their dreams. And then
whatever, I'll fucking kill you again in my dreams, motherfucker. Yeah. I stand by what I said.
So as revenge, just anyone related to anyone living in that neighborhood on that street is going down eventually. But I mean, watching again, I was like, yeah, this is great. This is great because it reminds me. I mean, I've seen it quite a few times, and I like this one because in your dreams, like there's a chick who, like, Freddy slashes her wrists, and her mom was like, well, she's crazy. Let's send her to this asylum. And at the asylum, there's a bunch of other kids. And then Freddy attacks them all in their dreams. But in their dreams, they have superpowers. So one kid's a wizard. One chick is a badass, which just means like she has a different hair and some switchblades. And one guy's really strong. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the living out your fantasy. I mean, like, personally, I would not want to risk death for it, to be a ninja or whatever my superpower would be. But yeah, it was great. It had, so these ones, Freddy talks as opposed to Halloween or Friday the 13th. So he has a ton of one-liners, and I think that was like the first time I heard the word bitch in a movie or just in general. I was like, that's a curse word and titties. Like, holy shit, this is cutting edge stuff. And the
is that the line?
Funny, right?
You're on prime time, bitch.
Yeah, where he like puts her in the TV, and I mean,
Yeah.
she's also like 3 feet off the ground, which doesn't concern any of the
Yeah, how did you explain
staff.
that?
Like nobody gets sued in the 80s, I guess. I don't know. You just can't run
Freddie
a
is
place like that anymore.
punny, right? Like he makes a lot of like puns and like
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's it was great. It was great. I mean, as far as being scary, it's not scary to me now, but back then I think it was pretty scary. Um, just of the weird, like there was a scene where there's this kid who loves puppets and shit. So he like cuts his like veins out and then like starts dangling him down like a
marionette.
Pinocchio. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then takes him to the top of the building and cuts the strings and the kid falls to his death. That's just crazy. Freddy's crazy. In each movie they find out a way to defeat him and then he always comes back. And that's, I don't know. It was very nostalgic. I probably won't watch it again ever. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, like any new friends,
But 5 out of 5.
Yeah. So yeah, that being said, I would give it a 3. I'd give it a solid 3. And when I had recommended this movie initially, it's actually not the one that I was thinking of. So I was actually thinking of number 4 because there was
Dream
that.
Child?
Yeah. No. Well, it was a chick from 3, and she was like in high school now, and like her brother knows karate, and he like is fighting Freddy. He's like an
Oh, I
invisible
remember.
Freddy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was
So
that was
Patricia
the one I was thinking.
Arquette was the main actress, was the main.
Correct.
And then Lawrence Fishburne worked in the hospital.
Yeah.
So those were the only 2 notables in the movie. And then Nancy was back.
Yeah.
Heather Langenkamp. But I can see why she doesn't get much work.
She's not a good actress.
Oh, at all.
No.
Because I saw the original recently.
But does she show them titties?
No, there's no titties in part 1.
No.
There's no titties in part 1. But in part 1, it's really bad. I mean, outside of Robert Englund, the only people that can act are Johnny Depp and Jason Saxton, which is her dad. He's a cop. Parents are divorced. Mom's an alcoholic. And Nancy's just a really bad actress. And it's just, I guess Johnny Depp's character Glenn starts talking about these people who can have dream skills. When they have dreams, they don't have nightmares. They have dream skills so they can control them. And Nancy
Lucid
asks,
dreamers. That's a legit thing.
Yeah. And then, so Nancy asks, well, what do they do when they come across a monster? And he says, oh, they just turn their back on it and don't give it any energy, and it dies or fades away or something.
Well, that's right. Because at the end of she's like, I don't believe in you. And then like, that's it. He disappears.
Yeah, she turns her back and he just fades, like he leaps at her and he just kind of fades away. I'm like, that's dumb.
That's the climax. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Well, the climax is supposed to be the scene where she brings him into the real world and all these booby traps go off and her dad is supposed to come over and arrest him.
Yeah, she home alones him. Like,
yeah, right,
I
exactly.
was just gonna say it's like Home Alone.
So, but this is part 1. Part 3, though, it went into a little bit more of the backstory. Like there is a ghost nun like going
Which
around.
Is his mom,
right? And the story is a nurse gets locked in a tower, or in the prison tower or something like that, and she gets raped by like 100 different like crazy inmates. And then from that, Freddy is born, and then
God.
So
that's dark ass shit, man.
That's a Maury Povich episode. Is what that is. You got to figure out who the dad is. You are not the dad. Yeah. Whoa. And then move on next.
Yeah. So this one had that backstory a little bit, and you're like, oh, Freddy had a mom, and this is why Freddy was evil because. And I didn't know how sex and babies worked at the time because, like, I was like, "Oh, she had sex with 100 men, so he's got 100 dads, and they're all crazy." Like, no, it's just one of those unlucky motherfuckers, right? Yeah. Well, if you were in a dream world fighting a scary monster, what would your skill be? What would your power be? You going
Superman.
Harry Potter-ish?
Harry Potter.
Expenderamo, and then he's
Harry
just like,
Potterman, the accountant. Yeah.
Expecto Patronum or Expelliarmus. I'm not sure which one you were trying to say there.
feel like even through my stuttering, that is an actual spell of some sort.
It was an amalgamation.
Jesus,
Uh,
nerd.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I mean, that's what I was thinking when you were talking about this. I'm like, I'm sorry, Freddie. You don't hold a fucking chance in my psyche. My psyche would fucking destroy you. Because I have this kind of like completely unfounded belief that no one could kill me if they tried. Like I was just listening to like some podcast today, some really sad true crime podcast where this woman was murdered by her husband's brother and all this kind of stuff. And they came into the house and, beat the shit out of her and sliced her throat and killed her. And I'm like, they wouldn't be able to do that with me. Like I have nothing. I have no.
There's no basis for your argument.
No.
There's no
None.
You don't have a resume to point to. Like, look at
Nope.
all the classes that I've taken. Nothing.
Nope.
Just that's not me. I would.
Yeah, that's not me. I just it's completely unfounded and I recognize it's completely unfair. But this is the dream world. And so in the dream world, I'm gonna fucking slice Freddy's dick off and shove it down his throat. So that's my inner psyche. Enjoy it, Freddy.
I mean, when you really think about Freddy and his, I mean, he's in the dream world, so he has certain powers, but the knives are very deadly. Don't get me wrong. Knives are very deadly. But when you have them on your fingers, it's really not that bad. Like how
can't
bad?
Grab anything.
You can't grab anything. There's no force there. You're gonna break your fingers before you get some real damage. But then again, like the 80s were full of pussies, except for Chuck Norris. But I don't know. I think mine would be some sort of kung fu master and just whoop on them, just like in the Matrix. Well, just like in the Matrix where they upload kung fu. That's what's gonna happen.
Kung fu.
Yeah, show me, and then I would whoop his ass. But then he would get the better of me, put out a one-liner, and then I'd have a very memorable death. But I mean, Carlos, you're going superhero route, yeah?
Oh, Superman. I'll laser this fool in half with my eyes. It's over. It's done. I'm not about dragging this shit out. I'm just gonna wreck him right away. That's it.
What are you gonna do with the rest of your?
I'm gonna go back to dreaming about, and then I'm gonna go back to my wet dream. I got time for you, Freddie.
Just
going back to dreaming about that 80s titties.
That's right.
Just cutting off bras with your laser vision.
Wonder Woman boobies. Yeah, man. Of course.
Gal Gadot. All roads lead back to Gal Gadot.
There are no ugly Wonder Women, though.
No, even back in the day, I had the crush on the Linda Carter.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
She's aged well.
Cute little
she looks
Bob.
good.
Yeah, she does.
Has.
All right, Carlos, what did you watch? Which one was yours?
Oh, but real quick, back to the original Nightmare. The deaths made no sense. Well, the first girl was killed in her sleep. So you didn't see her get slashed like by a glove. You just saw the marks go down her chest and she started bleeding everywhere and getting tossed all over the place. Then her boyfriend gets killed in jail and he gets hung by a bed sheet that kind of just drags him up and hangs him. But Nancy's pleading them to go check on him, and as soon as they run in is when he's getting hung. So they had a chance to save his life if they just would have given him CPR, because he had just got hung like right when they came in. So they grabbed him by his legs, cut him down. They could have given him CPR, but the cop was like, he's dead. And then Johnny Depp's character, he gets swallowed by a bed. It doesn't really explain how he dies, because all you see is like a volcano of like blood hitting the ceiling. And the reason I thought that was odd was because his mom opens the door and sees this. And it's just all this blood everywhere. So how does she explain how he died? What killed him?
It's like a geyser coming out of his waterbed.
Right. So it's like, what happened? Why is this happening? And then nobody's like, well, your house is haunted, bitch. What do you want? Nothing. Nobody does. Like, the cops come over. One comes out. He acts like he's sick to his stomach as he comes out of the room, and then the coroner is in the bathroom the whole time throwing up. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't fit. But all it is just a room full of blood. There's no actually body parts anywhere, so it doesn't exactly know why he's sick.
I
Doesn't make
feel
no
like
sense.
though, I mean, and I don't know when, but I'm glad it took a turn. But I feel like before a certain year, cops were fucking idiots. Like, and then
Well,
I
they were
guess
totally played up to be stupid.
right, and
Yeah.
but I mean, there's something to that too, because I've heard from like some of the people that were on the department like 40 years ago, and we're like, oh, so when I got on, they just like gave me a set of keys and a radio and a gun and said, go patrol the streets, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, holy shit, okay. So they just like pointed, as long as you weren't colorblind, you could be a cop back in the 80s, I guess. But yeah, so in every slasher movie, the cops make mistake after mistake, lock up the wrong person, or uh, get there too late. Yeah,
Or just
imagine
give
the
up. As soon as they
paperwork.
find one person, like, oh, this is him. This is it. We got him.
Yeah, just imagine the
That was it.
paperwork that they had to do in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, and so in the ending kind of didn't make sense either. I don't know if that was her mom dreaming that everything was back to normal, because Freddy grabs her and pulls her through the door glass.
Yeah, and
And
that
then
that part scared the shit out of me. I remember when I first saw it. I was like, all right, great. Freddy's dead. What's going on here? What? She's in the bus, and oh shit, he's not dead. And that was kind of the what do you call it? The recurring theme in all the Freddy's movies. He dies, and then there's a little hint of, I think he might be
he's coming
alive.
back,
And
right?
yeah.
And well, the only reason I'm saying that, I don't know if it's the mom dreaming at the end, because she clearly got pulled in by Freddy. So in part 3 in Dream Warriors, Nancy tells the group her mom died in her sleep. So I'm wondering, oh, that must have been the dream then at the end of part 1, because she died
Oh, that
there.
makes sense.
Yeah. So what I don't understand either is, why is Freddy targeting the kids, and why now? They never explain why now. Like, the kids are in their teens or they're in high school. So why now? Why not go after them when they were younger? Because he was a child killer, right? He was a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
And why not go after the parents instead of the kids? I mean, they're the ones who killed you.
Because that's like
right?
that's the shittiest movie you've ever seen. That's what just fucking the deaths would take 2 seconds. Kids aren't creative. I mean, every time I pull up to a dojo and I see like it's kids hour or whatever, I'm like, whoop all these motherfuckers in like 6 minutes. And that's just because I'm spending 5 minutes to give them an extra punch in the face. So that's why they're waiting, because it'd be a shitty movie otherwise.
Well, I would give the original Nightmare a 2.5.
Okay.
Because at least it was kind of scary. This just came out in '84, and so I'm sure in '84 this was scary. But Wes Craven really needs to tighten his shots. There was a lot of sloppy shots, and the acting was horrible outside of the 3 people I mentioned: Robert Englund, Johnny Depp, and Jason Saxon. And then I saw the remake. Jackie Earle Haley plays Freddy in the remake. The story makes much more sense. It's scarier. It's well done. It's tight. There's one death that's repeated, the first person, which is cool because it brings it back to the original. But in this story, Freddy is a gardener at a preschool who molests children. He takes them into his special cave and lets them draw, and he takes Polaroids of them. And Nancy is his favorite because there's more pictures of Nancy than anyone else. And then the parents find out, and they do the same thing. They kill him. They burn him.
Good.
But this Freddy looks more like someone who's actually been burned. I mean, he looks like he's melted, as he should be. Because the original Freddy Krueger looked like someone who just suffered from like 3rd-degree burns, like maybe a hot pot of water fell on him or something, not like fire. Doesn't look like he was melted. In this story, Freddy is killing all the kids from that preschool, and because they ratted him out, and he got caught and he got killed. But the problem with that premise is, once you run out of kids, that's it. Freddy's done, right? That's it. That's kind of like Elm Street. Once you kill everybody that was in that Elm Street, or the kids of the parents, then you're done, right? What are you gonna do? But I think the reboot is much better than the first. It's scarier than the first. The story is much better, and the acting is definitely much better. And I would give that a 3.5 of 5. If you get a chance to see that one, I'll definitely watch that one over the original from '84.
You know what I liked, and it's controversial. I'll get a lot of people disagreeing with me, but Freddy versus Jason, I really enjoyed that movie.
It was kind of funny. I
It
think I
wa-
saw that one in theaters actually.
I mean, it had all the, the elements of a Freddy movie and a Jason movie, but like, I don't know, Freddy was just kind of badass because he was getting his ass kicked, and then he like comes into, or Jason comes into his world or some shit like that, I believe, and then I don't know.
And then Freddy comes into the real world. It kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I was hoping that'd be the start of some sort of franchise, but it was a one and done.
Well, at the end, you'd think that Jason won, but then Freddy's hand comes out of the sand at the playground and pulls his mask down.
Right.
But clearly, Freddy's still alive.
Yeah.
And in the original Elm Street, there was 7 in the original series, and then 9 total if you count the Freddy versus Jason and the remake.
I think you count it because Robert Englund.
Right. Yeah. So the movie I was tasked to watch, besides watching what you guys were watching, was the original Friday the 13th. And let me tell you, man, what a stupid movie. I'm going to tell you right out the bat, this is a 1.5 out of 5. This is so bad. I can't believe they thought this was scary. It was, the only notable actor was Kevin Bacon. So it seemed like every one of these movies has one notable person. And the original Elm Street, it said introducing Johnny Depp, so I'm guessing that's his first film. And the original Halloween said introducing Jamie Lee Curtis, so I'm guessing that's her first film. But I don't know if this is Bacon's first film. It didn't say introducing, it just said Kevin Bacon. You don't see any slashing. And a lot of the killing is done like first person perspective. You don't even see that. Like this one girl, the hitchhiker, is the first one to die. She jumps out of this guy's car. The guy's kind of creepy. And then all of a sudden you see like a handheld shaky camera come up to her and she screams. And then all of a sudden she's bleeding from the neck. She had her neck slashed.
Jesus.
And then another guy, the first camp counselor, because they all come together to reopen this camp. They're all coming back to open Camp Crystal Lake. And the first camp counselor, I'm guessing he saw somebody in a cabin. He follows them. Hey, who are you? Can I help you? Da, da, da. He disappears. He's done. Whatever. Next time we see him, he's in the top bunk. And he's just laying there dead. We don't know how he died. He's just laying there dead. Kevin Bacon is screwing his girlfriend on the bottom. And she takes off. She has to go to the bathroom. He lays there. He grabs a cigarette. And all of a sudden, an arrow comes up from the bottom of him and goes through his chest. Like, I don't know how you're going to get enough force from under a bed to pull an arrow straight up, but whatever. And then the girl who goes to the bathroom, she's looking around, there's a noise. And then all of a sudden she turns around and she screams, but she freezes. Like she freezes and just screams and closes her eyes. She's like there for like 2 seconds, right? And you're like, that's far too long. That's enough time for you to take off and run in one direction or the other. But she doesn't. Then all of a sudden you see an axe come down. And all of a sudden you see it in her face. But you don't see her actually get hit by it. It's just in her face. So now she's dead. And now there's 3 more counselors left. One goes to the bathroom and she's calling it a night. They were playing strip Monopoly. So you get to see boobies in that scene, Johnny.
Yes.
And then, so she dies. She goes wandering around the archery field. She turns around and she screams. So I'm assuming she got hit by an arrow. That's the only thing I can assume because you don't see it. But then the other 2 camp counselors go walking around looking for everybody. And then they find the axe in bed. Like somebody had put it to bed. The axe was laying on the pillow and the blanket was over it. And it was totally clean. It was a totally clean axe too, except for a little bit of blood on the pillowcase. I'm like, this is getting stupider and stupider. And then the other dude dies. The last counselor dies. The girl survives. Last counselor dies. But you don't see him die except when she opens the door to this where the generator is, and he's stuck to the door with a bunch of arrows. So apparently he got stuck to the door with a bunch of arrows.
What?
So,
archery in this movie.
yeah. Apparently the person's very good. Like I thought it was Hawkeye was running around killing people. But so it turns out Jason's not even in the movie. So how this even got greenlit for a sequel and how Jason got so popular. Jason was it's his mom. Mrs. Voorhees is killing all these people because the camp counselors from I don't know 15 years ago, whatever, let his son drown. But his son was apparently he was mentally disabled or something. So he shouldn't have been in the water anyway. But he drowned. She's blaming them, so she's killing all these people. The last person kills Jason's mom, takes her head off with a machete. So instead of leaving the camp, she gets in a canoe and drifts off into the lake, falls asleep. And in the morning, 2 cops show up. They're yelling for her to come in, whatever. I don't know what it can't hear what they're saying, but they're yelling at her. So she looks up and she sees them, and then right, an 8-year-old boy jumps out of the water and grabs her and pulls her in. That's not the end of the movie. She then wakes up like she was dreaming. And then there's a cop there, the doctor, and then she looks at the cop. Are they? And the cop, all of them. They're all dead. Not with no sympathy at all. They're all dead. What about the little boy? What little boy? The one in the lake. My 2 men pulled you out. There was no little boy. He's still there. And it goes to black. So apparently that's the introduction to Jason. The mom is schizophrenic because she's talking in Jason's voice and answering herself. Like, so Jason wants them to kill the counselors, and she's like, I'll get them, Jason, blah, blah, blah. So it's not scary at all. It's a dumbass movie. It's 1980. And then
I know I've seen it. I just that last scene of her being in the boat and then him jumping out
Jason
of the
comes
water
out.
is the only thing that I literally remember. I don't know
Right.
why, but
Me too.
And then I saw the remake. Hold your horses. I saw the remake. Much better film. Much more anticipation of where's this guy coming from. It's a little more creepier. It happens at Camp Crystal Lake, but it happens on the other side of the lake. Some rich douchebag has a house out there. Apparently he grew up at this house, but so nobody ever knew, or Jason never came around. But here's the funny thing. I think Jason is actually just mad people are trying to steal his weed. Because in the beginning, these kids show up because they found out that there's a whole ton of weed in this forest or whatever. So they try to go steal all this weed and they're going to be rich. That's their thought. I'm going to be rich. So they finally find the weed, and the first dude who finds the weed finds Jason in the weed. He kills him. So Jason goes around and kills the rest of them, except for one of them, which looks like his mom. So he keeps her alive because she looks like her mom, his mom. Then there's this goofy country bumpkin in a barn, and he goes and steals weed. And as he comes back, Jason is in the attic or in the loft, whatever, and he kills him. So that's the whole movie. I'm just guessing Jason's just a pissed off drug dealer because he's killing everybody for stealing his weed.
and what year was the remake?
The remake was 2009,
Okay.
and it stars Jared Padalecki. I think that's how you say his name.
You know
Yeah,
what?
anyway.
I think, Carlos, I think you watched too many fucking movies in one week, and they were all like these old ass movies. Because like you get more and more critical about each and every one. You're all right. This one's fucking stupid because of this and this and. But at the time, I feel like you would have been scared, or it would have.
Well, I was trying to
It
put
was
myself,
memorable.
but I was trying to put myself in that time. Like, what did critics think back then, right? But they couldn't have thought anything highly of these 3 movies. Like, I mean, the remakes are far much better. But then again, the cinematography and the directing is a lot different now than it was back then. The cinematography
Truly.
of all 3 movies was garbage. The direction was totally garbage. But I'm sure on paper they thought this was genius. This is going to scare the crap out of people. But I don't know.
And you got to
I think it
remember
was
too that editing too, right, is
Oh,
way
yes. I was
better
thinking the
now.
exact same thing. I was like,
Because like back then you're like dealing with actual
Yeah.
film.
right. I was thinking the same thing when I was watching Halloween. I'm like, man, I want to meet the guy who evolutionized editing. This is crazy as crap. But yeah. So anyway, watch the remakes. They're better. I'm sure the Rob Zombie's better remake of Halloween. Didn't get a chance to watch that one. Yeah.
I would
so,
say just don't watch it in a week. Don't cram it in like you did. I
no,
don't
it's
think that's.
Halloween, man. It's Halloween weekend. You got to watch as many horror flicks
But
as you
you're angry
can.
now. Like you shouldn't have that vibe going into Halloween. You are not
Well,
happy like
man,
at
the
all.
80s were flooded with Jason, Mike, Freddy. I'm sure Chucky was 80s as well.
Yeah.
Can't think of anyone else who was flooding the 80s. Just flooded the 80s with these characters. But anyway, let's take a break. I can cool off, and we're back after this.
Hi there, this is Tom from the DPA. You're probably wondering what the DPA does. Well, when someone sends you a picture of someone's genitals, such as a man's, we analyze it. We can tell you exactly where it's from, what race, the height of said man, and the accuracy of the picture if it's from that individual. That's right, dick pic analysis. The DPA's been around for many years. We've tested the program over and over, even on our own dicks, and we guarantee that it works 8% of the time. That's right, the only DPA program that actually works 8% of the time. You might send us a dick, we look at the pic, and we think, meh, could be. There's no real computers. It's just three guys in a room staring at dicks. We've had many years of experience, and we promise you that we'll get you an answer to what you want to know. Do you want to know if that person can cook? Do you want to know their occupation? Do you want to know how tall they are? If they're fat, skinny, and if they use OnlyFans? We'll know by just their picture, and we'll guarantee 8% accuracy. That's right, the DPA, Dick Pic Analysis. Go to our website at dickpicanalysis.com, upload your information and a picture, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's DPA, dickpicanalysis.com. Don't be scared, go ahead and share. The DPA is not responsible for lost photos that you may have sent us, and we accidentally forward them to our friends. We do share information. None of this stuff is secret. It all goes public. 8% accuracy is a little high, but we can at least tell you the color of the dick that you sent us. We'll even measure it to our own dicks. Usually they're bigger. Not our dicks, but the pictures. Dick pic analysis. Not a real thing. Nerds Talking the Podcast. Back to the show.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. When we last left you, we were talking about the three original horror films, Mike, Freddy, and Jason. So, what do you guys think? Who is the ultimate 80s slasher badass? Mike, Freddy, or Jason? Laura, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know much about Jason. I know I've seen the movies, but I feel like he's the scariest of the three because I know he's like kind of giant, you know? And as I discussed, I can kick Freddy's ass in my dreams because Dream Me is a fucking badass. Mike Myers, at least from the first one, he's just a fucking retard running. Oh, that was bad.
We'll cut that out.
That's
Person running around, no peripheral vision. Jason, I remember being much more terrifying, and physically imposing. So I'm gonna go with Jason.
Johnny, one got Jason for one. Johnny, what do you got?
All right, Bookie, I appreciate your wrong opinion, but Freddy is the master of dream worlds. So however badass you are, he's going to let you build up your confidence. And then when you put your arms up to celebrate, that's when he's going to attack you. And I feel like you would be the type of person to celebrate after you like kick someone to the ground.
100%.
So like you're setting yourself up for failure. You always got to keep your guard up. And I feel like you're going to take your guard down once you like have your monologue after you like punch his head off or something like that. You're gonna like talk about how badass of a person you are, and I didn't work at Sam Goody for 15 years to take your shit. I saw worse tweakers than you, and like I feel like during that speech he's gonna have a comeback, a one-liner, and you'd be dead. So Freddy is gonna be the ultimate badass, and he's the most creative. He's killed so many people in so many different ways that he's going to be the badass for me. That's my vote.
So of the three, I don't like the supernatural aspect. I don't like that you can't kill Mike, you can't kill Jason. They keep coming back. That's bullshit. But of the three, Freddy gets my vote because Freddy uses sleep as a weapon. Everybody has to sleep, and that's when he gets you. Even Jason and Mike have to sleep. They can't just walk around aimlessly forever. Maybe they sleep standing up. I don't know, but still, that's his weapon. His weapon is sleep. Everybody needs to sleep, and that's when he gets you. And you can't kill Freddy in your dreams because he controls that. And according to the movies, you can only catch him and kill him if you bring him up to the real world to kill him again. So I'm with Johnny. Freddy's the ultimate badass. He would
And
totally...
think about this, Bookie. Think about a long day at work, or let's say you have consecutive long days at work and consecutive weeks. During those times, what are you looking forward to?
Sleeping.
Relaxing and then going to sleep. Then what if that was taken away from you? Like,
And I'm
how-
gonna fucking
how-
kick his ass for
There she is.
disturbing
There she is.
my
Duh.
special time. Be like, you motherfucker. Do you have any idea how much I fucking needed this?
Oh, you know what? You have a point. I feel like you would be more powerful. Like you're even
Yeah, the
angrier in
angrier
your
you
dreams.
make me, it's true.
How dare you?
Just absolute rage fuels my physical being.
Okay. I like that you're not changing your vote, though.
Nope.
Stay strong.
Sticking to it. It's a strong physical man because in the psyche, I feel like I can beat a lot of people, but a physical, imposing, Jason is fucking huge and he can't fucking die.
Yeah.
So that's a little terrifying.
And then
There we go.
thinking,
I mean, 2-1, I guess. So Freddy wins as far as ultimate badass, right?
as
That's
far
how
as
that
80s
math works.
slashers, yeah, absolutely. And then I was thinking about it after watching all these movies all week. I just been swamped with 80s slasher, just of the three. But still, I was thinking, I can write an 80s slasher film. I can come up with an 80s slasher character. This is not a problem. This,
All right,
I mean,
give me a pitch.
okay, so
Pitch it.
here we go. Here we go. It's kind of like, it's like everyone else. It's a revenge movie, right? So, but my character, he's like the office worker. He's like the guy at work who never gets invited to shit. Everybody else and I'm thinking like like 80s douchebags you see in movies all the time, right? They're always picking on him in the office, and for some reason in the 80s, all the guys that get picked on got glasses or something stupid. But anyway, he's wearing the glasses and he's getting picked on, and then one day he finally gets invited to go out with everybody, but they know he can't come because the big shipment of paper just came in, and all these big boxes of paper, copier paper, needs to get put away. So they're all, "Hey, you want to come with us?" And then he's all, "Oh," and then they start making fun of him. "No, you got to put the paper away, paper boy, you stupid paper boy, whatever." And then, but the one girl is nice to him and goes, "Oh, we'll wait for you. We'll try to wait for you." She's trying to be nice, but she goes with the douchebags anyway. So he's putting the paper away, and then this big tower of boxes falls on him and kills him. Paper boy is dead. So here comes the revenge part. So now he starts going after all the people that were making fun of him, that bullied him in the office. But because it's the 80s and it's a slasher film, they all get killed with paper products. Like,
Hey, what lay out some of the deaths for me. Death
Okay.
by paper cuts.
So this one guy, he's like, anyway, so he's in an alley or he's walking or something. It's late at night. It always happens at night. Or maybe he catches him in his house. But it's all like first person slasher, like these other movies were. So all of a sudden, a sheet of paper just goes straight across his throat. He grabs his throat. So he cut him and killed him with a piece of paper. He's dead. Right? And so
Okay.
another one, all you see is like a hand, like a first person hand, and a business card strikes this guy in the middle of the forehead. Like, boom, you killed my business card.
Like a
And then-
ninja star.
No, but the ninja star's next, so you can make a paper ninja star. So
Yeah.
that kills somebody with that. Yeah, so and the name of the movie? Paperboy.
Give me one more death related office product or paper product.
Well,
I've
it would
got
just
one.
be okay, go ahead.
It gets a
I might
paper
use
cut
it. Go
just from an envelope, but then it gets infected. And he goes septic and he dies from his paper.
Bookie, please don't add to this terrible movie.
Far too
idea.
long. Far too long.
Well,
No, because
Too long.
it's like a 2-week movie.
Still waiting for him to die. Well, another one would be, I was thinking, you need boobies, right? It's an 80s slasher.
Mhm,
So he
mhm.
does kill one of the girls, not the one that was nice to him, but there's gonna be another one because there's always 2 or 3, right?
There's always a bitchy one and then the nice
Right.
one. You have to have the contrast. Yeah.
So this one is gonna be maybe she's getting ready to take a shower, or it can't be too steamy in the room because it'll make paper floppy. You know, it needs to be rigid, right? So she's undressed. She's got her boobies out. All of a sudden, she gets killed by 1,000 paper cuts. Death by 1,000 cuts. Just all you see is and her boobies
Does
are
he
getting all
just like
chopped
throw
up.
a ream of paper at her? Is like is that
No,
how
it'll
it
just
happens?
float around. No, you gotta
Oh,
like slice
It's
them.
supernatural. Okay, like
Yeah.
like a tornado, like a paper
Exactly.
tornado.
Yeah. And so you
Got
see
it.
the
Got
boobies
it.
get all sliced up. That's where you get like the gratuitous booby shot and all the
That's a pretty
sliced
good
up.
one.
Yeah.
don't encourage him, please.
No, that's
Like I have
good.
ideas, but I don't want to share them because I don't want him to think that this is a good idea. And
This is
we're
a
gonna
great
like,
idea.
who wants to invest?
I
So
feel
try to
like
come
this
up
is maybe
Because
heavily
all of
inspired by watching The Office, like a lot of
this is
paper.
Dwight Schrute fucking
Yeah.
gone crazy.
Yeah.
and then
Ah.
it's the good girl who actually has to take him down. She has to kill him. She kills him with, wants to guess?
Matrix printer paper.
No. What?
No. Email.
No.
She kills him with email.
He doesn't exist anymore. We don't need paper anymore. You don't exist. He
Yeah,
fades away.
exactly.
No, cruel world, cruel world. No, the blade from a paper cutter pulls it off the thing. And
All right,
Yeah.
so I have a
Paper,
scene,
rock, scissors.
and I want you
Scissors
to
wins
know.
over paper.
I want you to know that I am not encouraging this at all. I
let's
think this
go.
is a
Let's hear
stupid
it. Let's
idea,
hear it.
but
This is a great idea.
but
I'm gonna make this film. If you want in on it, you email me. You can be anywhere in the world, and I'll tell you exactly how to get in on it. Just all you gotta do is film yourself in some creepy place. You don't actually see the villain ever. You just see like the paper product that kills the person.
don't
That's
worry.
it. I edit straight into the film. No, you could be part of it. Go ahead, Johnny. Give
No,
me your
I just replied to a Prince that he emailed me. So as soon as he sends me the money that he promised, then you'll have your investment for a movie.
you're the producer. You got it.
Yeah.
Executive producer. All right.
So there's gonna be a murder. Like 2 people are fucking by the printer, and then you see the body. You see a blade of some sort. All right, let's say it's that stupid paper, the blade from a paper cutter or whatever. But then the copy machine goes off, and then with each copy, you'll start to see like pieces of the murder. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, I like that.
and then all of a sudden, like,
Just
I don't know.
blood.
It starts off with boobies, right? Boobies,
So she's bent over and her
and then,
boobies
like,
are like,
the
yeah.
face, and then maybe a knife through the face or something like that. But then you keep
Ah.
instead of seeing the scene, you see the copier.
I like it. I like
But
that.
like I said,
I like it.
like I said, I'm not encouraging this at all.
It's gonna need some rewrite, but I like it because this is the 80s. So, and he only uses paper products, so he's not using the blade. So, what if we
Yeah,
did
but
that?
what about
if we
just
did that?
office products? Like I feel like paper product,
I know,
everyone's
paper,
getting
paper.
cut, and yeah, it's very painful. We've all had paper,
Paper.
but I'm not dying from that shit.
In
I
the
like
80s,
these
you are.
rewrites. I like
It's
these
got to
rewrites.
be office products. And
Yes.
then like he's got to like say shit like, oh, like he like, I don't know, pokes 3 holes in somebody. Oh, 3-hole punch that motherfucker. Shit like that. Like you need the one-liners, you need creative, but all like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna make this giant origami like fucking pterodactyl. He's gonna fly him away. Like you can't just
Hell
use paper
yes.
products. You just
paper products.
These rewrites, that's a great rewrite, Johnny, because the overall theme, right, is the oppressive nature of American office culture. So
right.
it's not just about paper, it's about the office itself. So you have to bring in the other elements. These are really good notes, Johnny.
Yeah, but
That's
I
why
don't want
studios
my
should
name
not get
on any of
involved
this.
with creativity. Okay, you guys are ruining the movie.
I know we took your vision and we bastardized it with
You did.
related products, and then like I don't know, like then we could do a product placement. Oh, the swing line
Staples.
stapler, yeah.
Yeah, Staples is definitely a
Sponsor,
promoter.
oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
Well,
so
my movie has been
speaking
ruined. Let me rewrite Johnny's scene real quick, though. Okay, first
Okay.
it's the chick and the dude making out, right, in the copy room. So the boyfriend dies because all the killer is holding the girl down and making copies of her boobies, and the paper is shooting out like jet fast, like boom, 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 and hitting the dude in the forehead, and it boom, 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 and kills him that way. Takes his head off. Boom,
Top of
boom.
his head out.
Yes, scalps him.
Ah!
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and so the last thing that kills him is a copy of his girlfriend's boobies. Cuts his head off. Yeah.
Oh.
Now we're really getting into the 80s movies here. Ah, yeah.
Please send your Kickstarter money to nerdstalking@yahoo.com. Is that our email? I don't know.
It is. It is.
There we go.
So are you in? Who's in? Who's in?
I'm in.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah,
As long as
well.
I can make creative notes, I'm in.
Well, you can make all the notes you want. I'll read them. Doesn't mean I'll implement them, but I'll read them. All right, Johnny doesn't like my idea. He's not in.
I'm good.
convince him, though.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
I get it. All right, to wrap it up, let's do our review of the week. So we all saw the Amazon original Totally Killer, another slasher. Laura, what'd you think? Totally Killer, Amazon Prime.
So brief synopsis. It's a teenage girl who her mother had a bunch of friends who died in the 80s via slasher that was never caught. And the slasher comes back, Halloween night, 20 something years later, or I guess 30 something. God, I'm fucking old. 30 something years later appears again and kills the mom, and the daughter is like, holy shit, I gotta do something about this. A leads to B, leads to C. She ends up going back in time in a fucking photo booth and has to solve the murders in 1980, whatever. And it was funny because they really didn't make any effort to make it make sense. Time traveling photo booth, time traveling carnival ride. Yeah, sure. Like, they made a point to kind of make it stupid, and they did a really good job of picking the young actors that looked like the adults, in now, and then the people that they cast back in the 80s versions of themselves, they looked really, really good, and it was fun. The bitchiness and the absolute idiocy of teenagers on full display was very entertaining. Speaking of bitchy friends, in Halloween, Annie, the friend, or whoever in Halloween, was an absolute bitch to her best friend. And then that's what you see in Totally Killer. They're like, God, you guys are really fucking mean. It's apparently just how friendships were, or at least portrayed back then. I don't know. Um, I liked it. I thought it was good. I like the mask too. The killer wore this kind of Max Headroom reboot mask that was kind of fun. I don't know, 3.5 out of 5. I liked it. I would recommend it. I think it's a fun evening watch. It's like an hour and a half. It's short. Maybe chuckle a few times. So yeah.
3.5 from Laura.
I thought it was totally good. It was a fun way to look at it. I mean, I've always liked Julie Bowen. She's the mom from Modern Family. She's looked great.
Side note,
for
I thought it was
years.
Kelly Ripa because I can't tell those two apart, apparently. Go on.
She does, I mean, comedy's her thing. And she does good in this movie. I really, really enjoyed I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain it. The daughter's a total bitch, and then she like becomes nicer again. And then at the end of the movie, she has a different name and all that. It's just like a different take on like the whole time travel thing. And I guess my only question is, right, so the original killer is the black dude, right?
Doug. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess he kills him because they always treat him like shit. That's the one, right?
No,
like
they
or
It
call-
was
that-
his
They called his
girlfriend.
girlfriend to commit suicide.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess
The
why
fat
didn't
girl, Fat
why
Kelly
didn't
or something.
that's right? Why didn't he
Trish.
kill
Fat
Trish.
why didn't he kill Julie Bowen anytime?
Back then, right?
Yeah.
Because she was not involved in that original
wasn't there.
That's
bullying
right.
incident.
That's
wasn't
right.
there.
That's right. Okay. Well then yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. No, I give it a solid 4. It was a fun watch. Like this movie you couldn't take seriously. It was nostalgic. It had a couple of songs that were really popular back in the day. And they called it something else in the movie, but I grew up as knowing it as the Gravitron.
The Gravitron, right? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same for you, Bookie, but we must have ridden that ride, I don't know, 50 times at least. And as you got older and stronger, you were like, all right, I'm just gonna be strong enough to move over to this one. And to actually stand up is probably impossible. That's what I was
No,
thinking
but that
during
was
the
so
movie.
cool when they were doing the stand up and like walking. I'm like, oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I was too old for them to have that at carnivals anymore because that actually really is a very dangerous ride. But they have it. They had it at Six Flags and it was called Tom's Twister or something. It was like a barrel. But yeah,
Oh yes, yes,
same
yes.
concept.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was
then-
probably my favorite ride growing up as well.
I loved
And then
it too.
you,
Because
like-
when you were little, it was so fun. You got, plastered to the wall. But then as you got older and fatter, you're like, I'm sliding
Yeah.
again
And
because I'm too fucking fat and heavy.
in the movie, they didn't make the little panels go up and down. They just kind of stayed there the whole time. But yeah, that was my favorite ride growing up. And I remember the last time I went on it, and so between the first time and the last time, like 10 years had passed, and I was probably in high school then. And then just everything was beat up, and then the cushions were all torn, and like you can tell where they didn't clean up the puke and that type of shit. It's like, wow, all right, this is probably the last time the Gravitron's going to take my money. So overall, the movie was pretty good. I enjoyed just about everything. I mean, the storyline, it is what it is. It's fine. One of the most nostalgic things besides the Gravitron to me was the waterbed. If you've never done it on a waterbed,
No.
Bookie, you're missing out.
I haven't. Where can I find one?
I think the only ones,
Craigslist
yeah,
only, like you
the-
just have to douse it. And
the
bleach
only ones that
before.
exist now are probably in vans, and so
Pass.
the
Hard
time
pass.
has passed. But like you put a sheet on them. They're usually like leathery or something like
Yeah,
that.
like pleather.
And
Yeah.
but yeah, if you've never done it on a waterbed and you get a chance, and I'm thinking your only chance is going to be like a rundown hotel or something like that. So get ready. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4. I'd watch it again.
I thought it was a fun movie. I liked the time travel thing because they kept it in the same line as Back to the Future. You just pick a date and go,
Yeah.
and that was it. What I thought was funny was how the whole gang was called the Mollies because they're all Molly Ringwald fans. I thought, like,
Right.
who's a Molly Ringwald fan? But yeah, they loved Molly Ringwald. But yeah, it was a fun movie. It was a lighthearted movie. It wasn't really, don't go into it thinking this is some crazy slasher or anything. But no, it was fun. It was fun, and like the ending was funny too, where she had a new name because now she has a brother. That is her. What was it? Jamie, I think it was Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now she has a new name. And what's funny is that the mom was wearing her jacket when she came back. Because remember, she gave her the jacket back in time. And
Mhm.
yeah, good stuff.
So the I forget their names. So the black chick and the black chick's mom. The black chick's mom remembered everything from back in the day, but
Oh, right. Yeah.
apparently not her mom.
Right. They didn't recognize that the daughter looks like the same girl that was helping them out.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to make sense. That's
It
the
doesn't
kind of
need
the
to make
beauty of the
sense.
movie. It's
One
just-
of one of the funniest parts, and when I saw this scene, it was just after her mom dies in the beginning, and they're trying to talk to the kids, and then they were like, "Hey, all right, coach, talk to him, give him a speech," and he said, "Avoid the knife, keep your life, go Devils."
Go down.
That was hilarious. The other part that was really funny is like she gave that chick a rape whistle, and then like when she was getting stabbed, she like
So what happens if he comes up behind me and slices my throat? And that's exactly what happened.
So I mean it was a good time. I mean I wasn't scared at all. I had my guesses throughout the whole movie as far as who the killer was, and I was wrong. I thought it was going to be the dad. But other than that, yeah, nothing too surprising. But it was just really funny. Like she tried to be, I don't know, I guess woke.
Kind of
in the past.
PC.
Yeah, a little, yeah, PC. But then they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And, I thought that was pretty funny. But you know, just the start of the movie, how she was such a bitch to her mom, and like, I mean, I guess it changes when she gets murdered.
Teenage girls, man. It's when the mom died. I'm like, how can you like a bitch, you little shit? Your mom just died. You were so mean to her. She loves you.
Yeah, and she was such a badass for like about 4 seconds, and I feel like that's kind of how your vision would be, right? Like, like
Yes,
she had
I was
weapons
going to comment
everywhere.
on that.
yes,
I was like, damn, bitch spent her whole life gearing up for this fight, and she fucking lost to this dorky ass podcasting old dude, because that's what it's like as a woman. You're
Oh.
not as strong, and it fucking sucks.
That
Was a bummer. I was like, oh, she did so good, but still lost.
You know what was a bummer for me is when, you know, because they were talking about that guy, and he's like, "Well, your dad's like a, you know, Pulitzer Prize winner." So, well, I won like 4 like Razzies for my podcast.
Potties,
Yeah, or
whatever.
potties, yeah. And I kept thinking, even Nerds Talking doesn't have a potty. So I was like, oh, his podcast is better than ours. Oh well, it's a movie.
What I was thinking, what I was thinking in the Gravitron scene, how she was being chased, and she had the knife on her, right? Why
Mhm.
didn't she just let go of it? It's gonna come around, right? She just
No,
better
it's going to
hope
go
it
straight to
hits
the
him.
wall.
I'm not great at physics. I don't know how. Yeah,
No,
it
it
would
would
go straight
if
to the
she let
wall.
go of it, it's going so fast they should come run into it.
It's going straight to the wall.
Why would it go straight into the wall? You're
Because of the
spinning.
G
It's
forces.
centripetal force.
Yeah, I'm with Johnny.
Think about a blender. If you're gonna drop something in, it's not gonna keep spinning around and stabbing everything in there. It's gonna go straight to the side and blend with everything else.
I mean, think of it like, yeah, your body is being forced backwards over and over again. So the same thing would happen.
So the only way
the
that
knife.
the knife would get to him is if he was on the wall and she like dropped it or threw it at him, and then that gravity is gonna take it straight towards
the
him.
force would take it out and then back.
But it's going straight to the wall. You got to point the knife.
Yeah, I'm not that good at physics, and I don't think anybody else here is either. It would be a total shit show to try to do that.
It's worth the risk because, well, the only reason I'm thinking if she let go, it'd come around because it's going so fast. It'd come around because in the middle, the person is stationary, so nothing's, you know, it's not affecting.
Well, I guess from the middle, she could throw it at him.
But there's no wind in that gravitron.
It's not wind.
So you're not. You can't depend on that thing just to spin around and give them 1,000 paper cuts like in your movie.
No, but they're going so fast that even before it hits the wall, if she were to let go of it, they're going so fast it should come around and hit them before it moves.
All right. So the state fair next year, me and you, we're getting on the gravitron. We're trying.
Throw me a quarter. Just put a quarter and let go of it.
Now, fuck it. We need to test it with real things.
No, just do a Halloween knife. Go to the Halloween store, grab a knife, see how it works.
No, but in my movie, it's a bullet. It goes so fast around, you're gonna get hit by the bullet and kill you.
It goes so fast the other way that it stops time, and then that's Superman.
No, but yours is more realistic than what Carlos is saying. What you're saying is probably going to happen more before Carlos's thing about the knife, just spinning around and stabbing everything in its path.
Slicing everything up, cutting people in half.
It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, man.
All right, well, we're gonna go study physics. I gave it a 3.5. Johnny a 4. Laura 4. Is that right?
I think I said
3.5.
3.5. Yeah,
3.5.
it's a
All
fun
right.
watch. Would recommend.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm gonna go study physics. And for Johnny,
See ya.
for Laura,
Goodbye.
and for me, bye-bye. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.